Hello guys, just Goron here and welcome back to another episode of building the Beekse Bergen. And in today's episode we are going to be working on the Rhino stall. And in old-fashioned, me being an idiot fashion, I started off with depathing, and so far nothing's wrong yet. But as we learned with the goat habitat, it's probably gonna become a problem that I started with the pathing and didn't wait until later to do that bit. But I mean, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Of course the outer ring is a bit messy, but I'm quite happy that I've managed to actually get an outer path and then fill it up with this tree bark thing. I don't even know what it's called. Oh, it is called tree bark path. Okay, so yeah, basically we've got like a little square of a different path inside of this ring of 3 meter path, which was challenging to make, but it worked out quite nicely. And if I fill this in with some mulch or leaves or something, I'm sure I can get it to look quite nicely. Now the only thing that is missing from this place right now is some of these. Oh no, not elephant grass. I wanted to click the table, because this place is of course covered in, well, of course, I say of course, but you guys don't necessarily know this place. But yeah, there's picnic benches everywhere here, because of course this is next to the African village, like restaurants. Well, they're not really restaurants, but oh, I just noticed that something did go wrong. Oh, and that is problematic. Well, yeah, this became such a mess of paths. But that's fine. We're probably gonna cover this in the same types of bricks we used over here and over here anyway, so that's should be fine. I am kind of wondering still how much I'm gonna use these, because they are kind of meant, like, if I continue the same style, because the bricks don't look like this, but I've kind of chosen this as the replacement. And if I want to continue that trend, they kind of should go along here, and kind of this entire path should be that same type of brick. So I'm not sure if I'm going to continue that trend or if we're going to kind of transition to this path. I'll have to make up my mind about that. But for now, let's focus on this little building. So we've got a general shape down, but it's not nearly what it should be. This glass is actually fine, and now I'm not sure if I'm gonna actually be using this type of glass. I think it should be good. It looks quite like what it does in real life. But the only thing that we have to change about this little setup here is, well, firstly, with the way I have the path set up now, it looks like it should be kind of over here rather than where we have it. And even though that's not really right placement grid wise, I think I'm kind of going for the relative position to the things we've built, because we can't really move any of this stuff very easily. And I actually know why it's in the wrong spot. It's because of the toilets. The toilets, and I think most of these things need to be back more to kind of make this a wider path, and if you would do that, then this could shift over to more over here. But moving all of this stuff and redoing this pathing is way too much work. It's I'm pretty happy with how this turned out, even though it's not possibly not 100% accurate. So we're gonna keep this and just roll with it in this sense, so making a small compromise which shouldn't have that much effect. So let's look at the building then. So the building isn't exactly made out of this metal. I think I can actually get away with using plaster, but this metal has kind of become my go-to temporary placement block. So let's temporarily place some things, and over here we should have kind of a slim wall like that. Then over here we'll have the door that will lead you inside. Yeah, that should be good. And then this is, oh yeah, there's gonna be another door over here. Yeah, I think this is pretty good actually. The only problem being that this is going to need to be over there. That is not really feasible. Okay, let's pause the game actually, because all the animals in here are starting to complain. Right, I've made a decision. In order to be able to get this all to work, we're going to be playing with scale a little. And we're just going to move this 2 meters over. This will give us a bit more space on the inside, as well as just in general. So even though it's not 100% accurate, it's going to make life a lot easier for us. So yeah, that's why I make that decision. So moving on. Okay, I've switched out the glass and we're already starting to get something that looks a lot more like how it should, which I should probably show you. This is the main building we're going to make. So we got that little bit there, ceiling higher, and then this glass front, which is where the visitors are able to enter. So I thought I'd do another time lapse, because we have actually not done one in quite a while and I've sort of missed them. So yeah, I thought let's do one for this episode where we are building this little rhino house. Now the time lapse doesn't cover the entire build, only just the detailing of this little front part. And right now you can see me try to make little air vents, and I'm using these switches and braces to kind of get that effect going. It's kind of an inverse effect when you think about it, because the blackness is supposed to be the background, but we use a black object on the foreground to kind of make these holes. Yeah, my workflow for this area wasn't very effective. I started working in one part and I was constantly telling myself, okay, don't copy it over yet, because you're gonna have to do more, and then you're gonna have to copy that over as well. And I just kept wanting to put this door in on the other side as well, or put this stuff in on the other side as well, and I'm like, stop doing that. Because yeah, here you see me remove that part just so I can copy this part over, because it needs to be there. Yeah, so all in all, I'm pretty happy with how this turned out. It looks a lot like the thing you just saw, and I showed it because I really want to kind of, yeah, get you guys more involved in what we're actually making here. Because if you don't know the zoo, which some of you might not, you probably for the most of the previous episode you had no idea what I was actually doing or why I was making certain decisions. So yeah, I'm definitely trying to show you guys more of that to get you more involved in this process. Now over here we are getting a little ledge in and a bunch of other stuff. And the main struggle we're about to encounter, and over here you can see me, we copied the door, but now we have to do it again because we want some other stuff in. And this is where I decided, okay, I'm gonna just take out the door, put it aside so I can just make it there and then put it in when it's done. And that's what this is. Now it's done and I'm putting it in, but I forgot the glass piece, so we have to copy that over again. Now over here we are trying to use a gutter to get this little stripe across the thing. I end up removing it because it shows from the other side, which I don't know how I didn't see that. I just suddenly, like, all of this time I'm looking right at it, and for some reason my brain is just oblivious to the fact that you can just clearly see that little white stripe. But yeah, I was too focused on this little thing, which is kind of the viewing area, and it's only a little wall because there's a moat here, kind of a, well, I wouldn't really call it a moat, it's more like a tub, which I suppose they fill with water sometimes. I don't think I've ever seen it filled up completely. But yeah, I'm playing with the skill of that quite a lot, because right now we get to the most difficult part, which is the pathing. So I'm using several techniques, like using the align to grid and 2 or 3 meter pathing to, yeah, really get it in the right place. And it was quite a struggle. Oh, I just heard a random noise. I don't know what that was. Yeah, it was quite a struggle to get this right, but eventually most of the stuff you see in this time was it's kind of for nothing, because eventually I just tore it out, and then you'll probably see it in a bit, because I was getting these really weird shapes that I didn't know what to do with, really. But yeah, a lot of time was sunk into this, in just the pathing, and actually next episode, which I've already recorded most of, we'll get a similar situation where I'm just struggling with pathing a lot, because it's a difficult thing, and I guess the most difficult thing about it is my perfectionism, that I just want to get it right, and I want people to be able to walk everywhere, and whereas sometimes maybe I should just make the decision that, yeah, it's good enough if they can get semi-close to it. Like, perhaps the 3 pieces of square path just around the glass was enough. But no, I had to get them up to the little wall ledge. But yeah, here we are using a plaster to hide the path, and especially the little curb. I wanted to hide that, and yeah, we put a bench in there because there is. that's something I've also noticed. I keep saying like, oh yeah, we put a bench, or we put this, and it's like, oh, why we do it? Why do we do that? Because there is one. There's not a lot of interesting commentary to say about that. I guess that's also why I kind of quit the time lapses, because I kind of ran out of things to talk about, really. So perhaps you guys in the comments can give me some feedback on that. Do you like the time lapses? Do I just stop talking whenever I don't have anything to talk about? Like, what kind of content would you like to see in that regard? Anyway, moving on to the rest of the video. Okay, I'm gonna jump back in here. I did not expect, I don't know if you could see it in time, or if I'm gonna slow it down now or something, but you may have seen, okay, this is not working out the way I wanted to. There we go. You might saw that. I did not expect that to work. That is incredible. Okay. Now we've got a workable path. Okay, so as expected, the fact that I did a bunch of pathing before the video started, not the brightest move. Not gonna lie. Shouldn't have done that. But I mean, it's working out. There we go. And almost. So yeah, this is just messing with path until something sticks, really. There is no skill to this. Well, I guess there's some skill to kind of knowing how the paths. Oh crap, when did that happen? Oh no. Okay, let's redo this over here, because we don't want that. So yeah, the challenge here was really just because we want this little pond here, this needs to be an elevated path, and then connecting an elevated path to a regular path can prove quite challenging. Also, that's a thing apparently. I'm gonna ignore that because I'm happy. This is another issue though, and I don't know what that just did to the path. Yep, can't do that. Okay, let's, without time lapse, let's do a real-time path fixing bit, because that's really the main challenge of this build, is getting this path in here. Which I think is important, because I want my things to be usable by the in-game NPCs. So let's get a 3-meter path, or even a 2-meter path in here, and we can make that anything we want, really. So what does you look like? You have a nice wooden curb. Actually, we can't do that, I think, because we're gonna have it sticking out like that. But we might be able to fix that up as well. Oh yeah, because there should be a grate there, so that's actually fine. So because we just put this here, the path is going to want to stay in this shape even when I remove this, which is what we want. So let's put cues on them. Actually, let's not do that, because when you do that, it removes everything. Okay, yeah, don't want to do that. So, but the problem now is that the game is gonna find it. The game's not gonna let me put a cue here because it doesn't see this. Okay, you know, I think we're gonna have to do a second sacrifice. Oh, that's a big sacrifice. No. All right, sometimes when you spend as much time as I was just doing on a path like this, you just gotta restart. So I decided, okay, I'm gonna save, so I can always go back to what we had, and I'm gonna retry it. And it just kind of first try just worked, even with this. I was actually thinking, like, why did I put so much time into getting that stupid diagonal piece if I'm gonna hide it anyway? You're not gonna see it. So I was actually gonna just leave that out, but then it just worked. Look, it looks just like I wanted it to, and it took way less time for some reason. Of course, we still have to deal with these. I'm considering making them 2 meters. That actually is way better. They won't clip the wall if we do that. Okay, now the only problem we have here is this thing that wants to be a cue so badly. I really gotta teach myself to stop recording once a clip reaches a certain length or something like that, because I've got, like, in total for this episode we've got like an hour or more of footage of just me placing paths, and nobody wants to see that. So let's just do another quick time lapse, and you can see me fixing the path, leading it up to the second gate and kind of figuring out how that stuff all works. And now we are making a little viewing area. Yeah, so leading it up to the second door, and across from that is a viewing area of the springbok. And I use this little wooden thing to kind of align a path for that and get it to the right height. And now we use like little nubs to let that thing keep its shape while we add the little path slots here. The most difficult thing, which is coming up now, is a little ramp that has to go down and curve onto the path. And yeah, we'll cut back in with my reaction of it finally working. Yes, 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 all the yes. This is exactly what I wanted, and it just suddenly snapped into place. That's what I tell you. There is some skill to this, like knowing what different paths do, but sometimes it's just luck that suddenly the path gods just decide that today is the day that you get to put down the exact path you want, and that is this. So I'm gonna save, because this is amazing. Oh my god. Well, that was something, to say the least. Let's see if we can actually clean this up a bit more by doing this. I kind of like the bumpy edge of that. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna keep this. Alright, so we got the front exterior basically finished, I want to say. We've got some bushes in, got some signs thrown up. I got this little fence, which is a service area, out of way too many little gutter caps. I've made this this do not enter sign, and yeah, it's coming along pretty well. Alright, we're taking a big leap ahead in progress, with the interior being almost finished, and I am kind of working on the exterior at the moment. But you can see several doorways which are currently open. I'm gonna put some doors in them. I'll probably leave 1 or 2 of them open, because I mean, I didn't make them like these open holes for nothing. And what you can also see is a very depressed rhino inside of here. I took the male rhino from the field and I put him in the indoor stall. So all these rhinos that you can still see out here are female. Also, by the way, if you're wondering, these are Watushi cattle, which is a mod which you can find on the Nexus forums. So over here we have now the indoor rhino enclosure, and we can see a bunch of details, like a suspended water trough made out of concrete or plaster, but we're pretending it's concrete, as well as this little bath area, which actually has water in it, which I did using a fountain. It was not possible to put actual water in here. I would have loved it, because it would have looked pretty cool, but yeah, we couldn't get that to work sadly because of the pathing, and boy am I not touching that pathing again. Now we've got some pretty messy things on the interior here, like these things made out of the metal support beams, as well as the fencing being kind of messy everywhere, but it looks good enough in my opinion. I'm not that keen on interiors anyway, and I think I already did a really good job with this place in general, although there is still a lot to be done. I'm currently working on the roof and kind of getting that all up and running properly. Also, in case you're wondering about our little rhino friend here, his traversable area is minimal, to say the least, so it's really kind of sad. Oh, he's angry and dropping his poop down the pond. Yeah, he doesn't have a lot to go with. He's got 36 square meters. It's about as much as the two aardvark do, but of course for a big rhino like this, that's not really good. But you know, just keep in mind suspension of disbelief and all that. This guy usually only stays here together with his wives, I guess you could say, only during the night, and during daytime they open the gates and they are able to walk to their field and just chill out over there. Oh no, you can't put it there, he can't reach it. No, keep her. You can't do that. That's not how any of this works. You're killing my rhino. Oh yeah, last thing I should mention is there is supposed to be a pole over here going down from the ceiling. I decided to remove it because with that pole there would be not a single spot traversable for our rhino. So it was really the choice between either having a pole here or having no rhino. And I do like the fact that the rhino is in here because it draws in the guests, and I didn't put down this pathing for nothing. So I do want people to come over here. So yeah, it's just a bit of a consideration to make. Yeah, in instances like this, where it's both due to downscaling and due to the way that the game calculates traversable area, that we have to make this decision. So yeah, it's fine. I'm pretty happy with how this is turning out anyway. Alright, I've got most of the walls in, and kind of... oh, forgot a little bit of roofing. Alright, that's that. And what I'm actually pretty proud of is this diagonal piece here following exactly, well, okay, almost exactly the line of the glass, just by rotating it ever so slightly in two different angles, giving that really nice effect. But other than that, we are pretty much done with the interior. I've got lights in, so we'll have a quick look at night, but we also have all of the walls in, and all it could really use is a bit of clutter, just some staff items thrown about, like ladders or brooms or whatever. Oh, there's a little bit of cleaning up to do over there as well, it seems. Actually, I think the simplest solution for that would just to be whoop. Since it's everywhere. Oh, forgot a piece. Ah wait, of course it's wider over here because of the... no wait, it's not. I guess I just forgot a piece. Oh well. Yeah, so we got all of that in. Now all this place could use is, as I said, some clutter, as well as there's like cables going over these girders to power the lighting, and there's like pipes of like the heating system probably. Which I'll probably put in some stuff to kind of signal that that's there, but it's yeah, it's not the most important, although I guess it will add a little bit of extra stuff to look at because it is quite plain. Alright, on the back here we've got most of the deals in. Not sure if I'm gonna keep this beam here, it's a bit jarring. But on the back here I've changed some of these doors, and they have this little sliding thing. Apparently that's where they're located. They slide open on the back here. So now all that there's left for the future is a big holding pen outdoor, and this next staff building, which I think is stables for the springbok and such. The work never ends, but we sure are taking steps in the right direction, and this is a pretty cool building that I'm pretty happy with how we've recreated it. So let's take another look inside. I don't think I actually showed you the nighttime perspective yet, so let's actually make it night. And you get to see him waddle around a bit. He's well lit. The guest area is slightly lit. Oh, we can hear the music in the background. But yeah, this was the indoor rhino stall. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. In the next episode, we'll probably continue working on this area, or maybe for now we'll move to something else, because I am getting a little bit tired of the African village. So might put it on hold for a little while and check it out again in the future. But as for now, I'm gonna sign off. Thanks for watching, and goodbye.